Did you hear?
Julian's alive. Went off the show. Yeah, I heard. Robert told me.
I think he's bloody neck when I find him, and I think about the year he just put us through. No, I've been such a bloody idiot.
I was worried about you. Robert told me that you were going to be arrested. I didn't know what kind of trouble you were in.
Okay, he had no reason to arrest me. Julian's the one that's in trouble when I get my hands on him.
Just leave the detective work up to Robert, will you? He will arrest you the next time.
I don't trust Robert at this point, Anna. I don't know he's going to bring Cheryl back in. He might just leave you here in jail.
He won't do that. He's a good cop.
You were a very good cop, too. And you fell in love with me, and look what happened. Robert might do the same thing with Cheryl.
What you going to do?
I'm going to find Julian and get you off the hook.
He's a desperate man, though.
I don't care about that. He wouldn't know the meaning of the word desperately. He comes face to face with me. Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
An urgent matter that could render the further trying of this case unnecessary. The defense is moving for a continuance in order to develop some new evidence.
Your Honor, to call this new evidence would be like calling a rabbit an elephant.
May I finish what I was saying?
Mr. Baldwin, do you have any grounds for objection other than your disagreement with the defense?
I will have, Your Honor.
Save it for then, will you? Mr. Meyer, this is a serious matter, and I hope that Mr. Baldwin is wrong, that this evidence is both decisive and new. I will hear your arguments in my chambers in 5 minutes. Court is recessed.
All right.
Can you take long?
Just a few minutes.
Give him hell, Jake.
I intend to.
Hold on. How you holding up?
Better? So we're policing again today?
You know I'd never do anything to hurt you.
Yes, you absolutely had to.
Look, if you'd been on the dock about to arrest Julian Jerome for a crime that Anna Lavery's accused of, you'd have thrown Duke in the harbour.
Well, I suppose you supported Jake in the continuance. I bet the DA's office loved that.
I suppose we can stop bickering long enough to get a few straight answers.
What's the question?
Where's your scuzzy husband?
He'll be here later. He had some business to take care of.
More important than this?
Jake told him that there'd be some delays, and there are.
Commissioner, as a witness, you'll have to step outside until you're called. Court's about ready to begin.
We'll talk later.
Naturally.
It's impossible to say right now. They're in the recess.
Are you still on speaking terms with Anna?
We both regret the situation at present.
How's Robin going to feel about your testifying against her mommy?
That's none of your damn business. And I would advise the press to keep a civil...
The
judge would like to see you in his chambers.
Are you going to fight for the maximum penalty in case Olivia dies? That's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin,
Just a minute, Karen. There was at least one other gun at the scene of the shooting of Olivia St. John. There was another party up in the balcony of the hotel suite. The weapon was fired at least twice with an admitted attempt to kill Olivia Jerome. Now, if all this is true, Your Honor, then Anna Lavery's claim of innocence is also true.
Do you have the hardware? Do you have the people in custody? Confessions?
Your Honor, we have the weapon mentioned. We also have a confession, but not a signed statement by a person admitting to being on the balcony at the time and firing in the direction of Olivia St. John. We have a lead on that second party.
Do you have the people in custody?
Not at this point. They are the victims or the subject of a statewide manhunt.
Your Honor, with all due respect to my opposing counsel and Commissioner Scorpio, we're listening to a lot of hot air. We are wasting the taxpayers' time and money on stories from fugitives that may never appear.
Oh, what do you want, Baldwin? A videotape of the shooting? We have a gun and we have a sworn statement. When I went to law school, we used to call that evidence.
Well, I call it malarkey. If there was a statement made by someone, where are they? Where are all these people, Your Honor?
Well, if the Honourable Assistant DA wouldn't tie me up in court, Your Honor, I would have more time to to direct on this issue.
Yeah, well, Commissioner Scorpio has 1,200 men in his department. We need him. He's a witness, a key witness for the state, and we want him in court. Now, what's the matter? Can't the Port Charles Police Department play without their one-man band?
Baldwin, the commissioner is not on trial here.
Oh, but I would advise you.
I will advise both of you and you too, Mr. Meyer, if you intend to boil over as well. Recall your professional obligations. You've made your points. You've made them well. However, I cannot grant a continuance.
Your Honor.
I cannot grant the continuance until the witnesses are in custody and they have deposed information that will provide grounds for this court to change its mind. At that time, we'll entertain new motions. But right now, let's have a trial.
Dr. Hardy, were you on duty, General Hospital, day of October 28th?
I was.
On that day, did you happen to see the defendant, Anna Lavery?
I saw her after she had lost her baby due to an elevator accident.
Well, in the course of your counseling, did the defendant happen to say anything peculiar?
No.
No.
Not considering the extreme stress she was under, including the loss of her child.
Well, let me rephrase the question. Did the defendant make any kind of reference towards Olivia St. John? Do you understand the question, Dr. Hardy?
Yes, I do.
Well, what did she say about Olivia St. John?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel's leading the witness.
The witness isn't being very forthcoming either, Mr. Meyer. Overruled. Dr. Hardy.
Anna Lavery was in a state of extreme anguish.
We understand that. What was she saying when you walked into the room?
She said that she was going to kill Olivia St. John for murdering her child.
Order. Order.
How much longer?
We don't know, Commissioner. Sorry.
Commissioner Scorpio's office.
Anybody ever tell you you can be arrested for impersonating a police commissioner?
So could you, old buddy.
At least I'm paid for it. What's going on?
We finally traced the two sets of black and silver sequins to the same manufacturer. They could have come from the same dress.
Well, that's great. Whose dress?
Look, that's going to take a little digging. So Guy Lewis and I are going to review all the videotapes from the mob party to see who was wearing sequins that night.
Well, I've got to get over there.
The sooner the better. What's keeping you?
Baldwin's got me hung up to testify here with the judge's concurrence.
You think he's trying to drag it out?
Well, Scotty will do anything to preserve the case he thinks he's got. But if he doesn't conclude this shortly, I'm going to come back to the station. This sequin thing's far too important. It could be the way to get Anna off the hook.
Look, Robert, don't get your hopes up too high in this one. We're not going to build a whole case on a few sequins.
Stranger things have happened, my friend. Stranger things.
Yes, you were talking about what Mrs. Lavery had to endure.
She was in pain, and the loss of her child was a matter of extreme anguish to her.
The loss of her child was a matter of extreme anguish to her. Tell me something, Dr. Hardy. Have you ever used the word kill in a non-literal sense? Your Honor, is this relevant?
Let's see where it goes.
Have you ever used the word kill in a non-literal sense?
Sure. It's part of our language. We all tell our favorite baseball teams to kill the Red Sox, the Dodgers, whoever. I was so mad I could have killed him is an expression we all use.
In anger.
Joking and stress, all kinds of ways.
And so, Mrs. Lavery.
In my opinion, Mrs. Lavery was venting her pain with an empty verbal threat.
Your witness, Counselor. Dr. Hardy, working with any of your mental patients, have any of them ever threatened suicide, murder, any types of self-destruction?
All the time.
Did any of them ever carry it out?
I hope they weren't true.
Hoped? Well, now that's not a very scientific word. In your meeting with the defendant, Anna Lavery, did she mention that she was going to kill Olivia St. John?
Yes, she did.
Did you think she meant it?
I had no way of knowing. I hope not.
Uh-oh. There's that hoped word again. So, the truth is, your opinions are just that. Opinions. Not worth a nickel more than anyone else's. And Anna Lavery threatened to kill Olivia St. John. No further questions.
Thank you, Dr. Hardy. You may step down.
Swell. If I'd had a gun and shot Anna myself, I might have done a little more damage.
Well, don't feel too badly. At least you told the truth. I'd like you to get a message to Mr. Baldwin for me, please.
I cannot interrupt the court right now, sir. I'm sorry.
Tell him that Mr. Scorpio's had a skinful for one day and...
Commissioner Scorpio, you're called to the stand.
Belay that.
Mr. Scorpio, first of all, the people would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and testifying.
Well, that won't be necessary if we can just get on with it.
Of course. Let me take you back to October 31st, party at the Port Charles Hotel. What can you tell me about that?
It was a party for, a birthday party for one Victor Jerome.
And who is Victor Jerome?
Objection, Your Honor. Victor Jerome is not a party in the state's case.
The relevance will be evident, Your Honor.
We'll grant a little more leeway, but you're the one that wanted to get Mr. Scorpio out of here before lunch, Counselor. What was the last question?
And who is Victor Jerome?
He's the boss of bosses for the Jerome Organized Crime Family, one of the largest such organizations in the country. The party itself was a cover for a meeting of two such families.
Actually, I'm glad this is going through. In an attempt to establish a motive for you, he's discrediting his own victim.
Well, I could do that.
And the mob would just really meet in public, just like that?
We're not talking about a bunch of Rhodes Scholars here. I mean, they're just common everyday hoods. They thought they could get away with it, but we had inside information.
What relationship, if any, Olivia St. John, who owns a fashionable art gallery, to Victor Jerome?
She's his daughter.
Was she present the night of this birthday party?
No, she didn't make it.
Well, you know, I think we ought to stop for a minute and explain to the jury just exactly how you knew what was going on at this birthday party.
The Port Charles Police Department had been organizing an undercover operation for some time. We had waiters, waitresses with microphones working on the body of the floor within the crowd. We had the entire event being videotaped by hidden cameras for use later on in conjunction with charges which would be made.
Arrests were made at this party, but...
Mr. Baldwin, can we assume that at some future time all of this will tie into the shooting of which Mrs. Lavery has been accused?
Absolutely, Your Honor. This is vital.
We arrested various figures. Charges were made from drug dealing, pandering, murder, you name it.
I understand you were not present when the arrests were made.
That's correct.
Where were you?
I'd gone upstairs to look for Miss Jerome.
Why were you so concerned about Olivia St. John?
Go ahead, Commissioner. At least we are talking about Olivia St. John now.
I'd received a call that Anna Lavery had left the hospital.
Left the hospital? A sprained ankle and grief-stricken, she just got out of her hospital bed.
Yes.
For what purpose?
You have to ask her that.
But you thought it might have something to do with Olivia St. John.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation on the state of mind of Anna Lavery.
Sustained.
Mr. Scorpio, when you went to Olivia St. John's suite at the Port Charles Hotel, were you thinking that you might actually find Anna Lavery there?
Possibly.
Did you?
Yes.
Feel free to elaborate there, Mr. Scorpio.
Yes, Anna Lavery was there.
Let's just sort of establish the scene here. When you got to Olivia St. John's suite, did you see or hear anything unusual?
We heard several gunshots whilst in the elevator.
Coming from?
The floor where Mrs. St. John's suite was.
You got off the elevator. What did you do?
Ran to the door of the said suite.
Was it open?
Yes.
And who and what situation did you find there? Come on, Scorpio, stop wasting time. Who and what was going on in there?
I found a woman with her back to the door.
Did you know her?
Yes, it was Anna Lavery.
The defendant. Who else was there, Mr. Scorpio?
Miss St. John.
And how was she? Was she sitting down, watching TV, standing, what?
She was lying on the floor with a bullet wound.
Did you find any weapons in the room?
Yes, one.
Let me just get the picture straight here. Anna Lavery, our defendant, was standing over Olivia St. John's bloody body. Now, where was this gun?
It was in Anna Lavery's hand.
So where did you finally locate the gun that was registered in Anna Lavery's name?
In a dresser in her home.
So she shot Olivia with a different gun.
Objection, Your Honor. It has yet to be proven that Anna Lavery shot anyone.
Sustained.
Okay, Commissioner, why don't you and I get this gun thing straightened out? Anna Lavery's personal gun was at home, safe and sound. Had it been fired?
No.
What kind of gun was Anna Lavery holding then?
9mm automatic.
Whose was it?
No idea. The ID number had been filed off it. This is a common enough practice for hood people like Miss Jerome.
That's okay. You don't have to elaborate on it.
Your Honor, the witness is answering who owned the other gun. I think this is relevant information.
And you can ask it when you cross-examine Mr. Scorpio. The district attorney has the right to solicit his own information.
Well, more important than whose gun it was, the question is who did what with it. Now, did you find any fingerprints on this mysterious gun that Anna Lavery was holding?
Yes, I found hers.
How many shots were fired?
I heard several, but I don't know by whom.
Where did the bullets go?
Well, look, Your Honor, if I can finish the question here, it's relevant to the gun that Mrs. Lavery was holding.
Your Honor, I insist that the witness be responsive to these questions.
Your Honor, the prosecutor is trying to muzzle his own key witness now.
You'll have your opportunity later. Just answer the question.
How many bullets did you find at the scene?
2. One embedded in the wall, one in the chair.
Were any bullets found in Olivia St. John's body?
The surgeons found one.
They find evidence of another?
This is hearsay. Objection.
Sustained.
We'll get that from the doctors when their time comes. Meanwhile, let's go to Olivia St. John's hospital bed, where she lies in a deep coma. Now, you were present the one time she came out of this coma.
I had asked to be called in should she awaken.
Did you ask her who shot her?
I did.
Objection. This, too, is hearsay information, inadmissible.
Your Honor, it's the only testimony we have from Olivia St. John because Anna Lavery put her in a coma. This has the same status as a deathbed confession. You're going to have to allow it.
Go ahead, Mr. Scorpio.
Go on. When you asked Olivia St. John who shot her, what did she tell you?
She said that Anna did it.
I beg your pardon. I didn't hear you. You were sort of mumbling. I think the jury didn't hear it well.
Olivia said that Anna shot her.
No further questions.
We will have a 15-minute recess before you cross-examine Mr. Meyer.
All rise.
sooner undertake a root canal without anesthetic. Thank you very much.
Just telling the truth, that's all.
Look, I've got to get out of here. I've got to find Julian and Sheila. It's the only way I'm ever going to get her off the hook.
I'll try and nail it down as soon as I can, but actually, I'm rather encouraged.
Oh?
Why?
Scott made a major mistake trying to shove this case through after we had told him we had major exculpating evidence coming in. He's left so many holes in this case, I can defend 2 other people with it.
All the more reason why I've got to get the hell out of here.
No, all the more important for me to use your cross-exam to punch holes in his case.
Come on, of course, I paid your bail, Hogan. That's what friends are for, anytime. No, everybody's lying low in Port Charles since that bust. So what do you hear about Julian? Oh, come on, man, I don't want him dead. I'd just like to find him, that's all. Okay. Yeah, you keep in touch. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
It's about time. Send him in.
Hey, Duke, baby.
Oh, baby, you. I'll smash your nasty little face in. Now, where's Julian?
Julian? Julian Jerome?
Cut the phony with me. Tell me where Julian Jerome is.
Hey, Duke, you losing it, pal? Julie's where we put him. 6 feet under that marble
yeah?
slab.
Julian's alive. He's run up with Cheryl Stansbury. Now you tell me where he is, and you tell me now.
Take it easy, will you? Come on, I'm too old for this stuff. Julian's alive? Okay, he's alive, but it's news to me.
So the only bullet that was actually proven to have been in the gun that was in Anna's hand was embedded in the frame of a chair.
Yes. There was one other, which we pulled out of the wall. It hit a beam and was too badly distorted. And, of course, the bullet, which is still in Olivia Jerome's body, it can't be removed for life-threatening reasons.
Police have any proof at all of any bullet that Anna Lavery might have fired that actually hit Olivia St. John?
No proof at all.
Did you find any evidence of any other weapons on the scene?
Yes, I did.
Objection, Your Honor. Commissioner said there was one gun at the scene of the crime. He can't introduce another one now.
I didn't say there was another gun.
Well, whatever he said, he can't talk about unless I have full access to his evidence.
I tried to tell you this earlier, but you wouldn't listen.
Okay, order. Counsel, approach the bench. Mr. Meyer, what is going on here?
This is the new evidence we were talking about in your chambers, Your Honor.
I thought you didn't have any proof as yet.
I said we had another gun.
Well, maybe I misunderstood. Let's hear it from Commissioner Scorpio. You may answer the question as to the evidence of another weapon at the scene.
We found a spent shell casing of a different brand than that fired by the gun in the hand of the accused.
Did you subsequently find the gun out of which that casing was ejected?
We did.
Who owns it?
We're currently developing evidence along that line. I can say with certainty that there was one other person on the balcony with the admitted intent of killing Olivia St. John. Look, Your Honor, I've got to get out of here to develop this line of evidence.
Sit down, Commissioner.
Your Honor?
I have further questions.
I have to grant it, Commissioner. Sorry.
Duke just tried to choke info out of me about Julian. He's hot as a rocket and ready to blast off.
Okay, Maxie, thanks for the word. We'll talk later?
Take care, boss.
I should have found some way to keep Duke here last night.
Short of killing him, I don't know what you could have done. The police was all over the place.
If he finds Julian, he'll kill him. I'll kill Duke if I have to.
Do you have any evidence at all that Anna Lavery did not fire the shot that hit Olivia St. John?
It has not been shown that Anna Lavery fired any shots at all.
I beg the counsel's pardon. Really bringing up the gun. People's Exhibit A. The one Anna Lavery was holding in her hand the time and the place Olivia St. John was shot.
Mr. Baldwin, what is the question here? Now, I've told you all I know. Any more can only be ascertained by my release from this witness chair.
Well, I'm sorry to trouble you for testimony. I know you're a very busy man. However, you did mention that there was an interested party that claimed she had first-hand knowledge that Anna had shot Olivia St. John.
Yes, Olivia said that shortly after coming out of her coma.
Just answer the question. The answer is, Olivia St. John said that Anna Lavery shot her.
Yes. Now, can we get on with it?
Mr. Scorpio, must I remind you...
It's my fault for keeping the commissioner. You're excused. Sorry, Your Honor, I have a few more questions.
Try cool it, will you?
Sorry, Robert, we have to undermine Olivia's accusations. Bear with me.
Mr. Meyer, if you intend to recross, it will have to wait. This court is adjourned until after the holiday, and we wish you all a happy Thanksgiving.
All rise.
If I were judging the debate, I'd say you won on points.
Yeah, no contest.
You think so? Mm-hmm. And don't worry about Robin. We talked to her earlier. She's being very brave.
I miss her so much, I can't stand it.
Well, listen, if you need anything like clothing or makeup or some moral support,
Okay.
call.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Bye. Yeah. Bye.
You can always call her, you know.
It's all right.
Do I stand a chance?
Yes. Particularly Robert's investigation goes the way he expects it to. Well, I wouldn't hold my breath, pal.